It's about 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon. I'm not really sure. Here on July 23rd, 2024. And I'm looking at this pile of sheep dung. And you can see it's moving. That's because there's dung beetles in there. It's turning it into dirt. They're just tearing it apart. So I wanted to catch a sheep that was limping pretty bad. I thought maybe that sheep had hoof rot. But no, she just has overgrown toenails. And so she's got to go eventually. I'm wondering if I should sell. Is it better to do the purge earlier or later? That's the question I have. Is so if I go through and sort the sheep today, should I take out all the ones I don't like and just don't even breed them? Or should I wait until I get the numbers and then start calling? And my plan was to get the numbers and then call. But I'm not so sure anymore. Part of me says call sooner rather than later. The thought is that if I have a weak sheep and weak genes, and then those sheep have a couple lambs, and I keep the lambs because they're looking okay, is that bad or not? So this is the sheep right here, this guy right here. She is limping a lot, but she just has overgrown toenails. I don't think it's hoof rot at all. And there's a couple lambs these lambs back here that I really want to catch. But I'm not going to be able to do that. What else? Oh, I got the hay. I got 90 bales of hay. The gentleman that does the hay was kind enough to deliver it for me for a price, of course, but it was a lot less than I thought it would be. And, ooh, look at that. There you go. Dung beetles galore. That is just cool. One of the sheep is coughing. If I ever catch that sheep, she's gone. But I was reviewing Greg Judy stuff, and he pointed out how it took him a while to get good sheep to what's the right word, to get good genetics going in his flock. That the first batch of sheep that he bought, he lost a lot of them, and he culled a lot of them because they just weren't cutting it. And I wonder if that genetic bottleneck is good, or if it's better just to, gradually cull over generations. And because maybe the bad sheep do have good genes, maybe it's not the end of the world for the bad sheep, So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. The second. One of the things that Greg Judy mentioned in his most recent video, which for you would be yesterday's video, where he talks a lot about sheep and stuff, is he said that if you have to baby your sheep, you can't be productive with them, right? They have to be able to tough it out in natural conditions, right? And so that means aggressively culling and not buying bad sheep, right? And his kind of deal there was he wanted people to buy good sheep. He had a friend that was selling a bunch of sheep, and I'm thinking seriously about buying good sheep as well, just to get my numbers up. But also, in a couple months here, I'm going to have sheep coming out of my ears, and then in about 5 years, I can be aggressively culling this herd and making money hand over fist while I'm doing it. So that's kind of what I was planning all along. Whereas if I go through and take out 20%, 10% of the herd right now with a flock, which I think I need to do eventually, that's just going to lead to lower numbers, and it's going to take longer to get to that size. So anyway, that's something that I'm always thinking about, cull now versus cull later and stuff like that. Where was I going now? Oh, so the hay is here. I got 90 bales of hay. I'm going to position them along the western edge of the field where the water is. I'm going to get them set up so they can be easily rolled out. So I'm going to lay them out so when you roll them out, they're rolling backwards. Otherwise, they'd roll out really thick, and I don't want that. I don't want to have to go by and use a pitchfork and spread it. So the next part of my master plan with the hay is to get the bale and roller. but I'm pretty happy to have that hay on my pasture now. And oh, grass varieties. So I don't know what I've got. I really don't. And watching Greg Judy go through his pasture and talk about the different kinds of grasses that he's seeing has kind of awakened me to a sense of I really don't know what I'm looking at. This is, I believe, smut grass. That's smut grass because the seed heads tend to attract that smut, that fungus that spoils wheat and other things. Not enough to cause a concern for the animals. There is funguses that get in the seeds that do cause problems. I forget the name of it. It's not smut though. I think barley and caterpillar grass can get it too, right? I'm seeing lots of caterpillar grass in my pasture as well. I see a couple varieties of grass that I just, like, how am I supposed to identify this? It's just grass. I can't really identify that yet until I see it put on a seed head and, or at least grow a little bit taller. Then I'll get a better sense of what kind of grass it is. I'm looking for the native grasses. I'm looking for big blue stem. I'm looking for the eastern gamma grass. That would be amazing if I got eastern gamma grass. I would just be tickled pink if I got that grass. And come on. I'm looking for any grass that will grow well and provides good forage, right? And I'm also looking for weeds. I want certain weeds in my pasture that do good, especially the legumes, right? Anything that puts nitrogen in the soil or fixes nitrogen in the soil or anything like that is something I want. I want a canopy. I want multiple layers. I don't want just one kind of grass. I want, things on top and above and below. I want multiple stories. I want multiple species. I want multiple kinds, So not just like grass, but other things too. Like, grass mixed with this stuff. I don't know what this is. I'm sure it's important somewhere in the big grand scheme of things, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And so I told the guy that brought the hay, I'm like, look, I'll buy all your garbage hay every year because I'm just going to roll it out in the pasture. The cows will eat half. The rest, I found that when I roll it out like that, I get a bunch of grass the next year. That's what I want. I don't put down fertilizer or anything like that. The hay is the fertilizer, right? And eventually I won't be so reliant on hay when I can figure out a story for how to feed the cows in winter. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, it is not hot by any stretch of the imagination. I don't even imagine it's probably like 81, 82 if it's above 80 at all. The humidity is through the roof. We've been getting a little bit of sprinkle of rain here and there. And there's a cool wind blowing from the southwest. Cloudy skies. Even though I'm not in the direct sunlight, the sun is still hot somehow. Don't ask me how that works. But definitely cooler in shade. Even though you can't see the shade, if you catch my drift. But that's kind of the story there. That's where I'm at. Thinking about genetics, thinking about positioning hay, thinking about what's supposed to grow in my pasture, what do I want, how do I get more of it. And then also one last thought before I leave is I'm thinking of taking the cows off the back 20 on Monday. So after 2 weeks, I'm going to start rotating again. And then the question is, do I rotate them with the sheep? Or do I keep them separate? And I don't have an answer to that question yet. I'm leaning towards with the sheep. And then maybe trying getting the rams and the ramblings off separate from the sheep and the cows. Maybe having one big herd and then a smaller herd that's easier to manage of the rams and the bulls, and the steer. That's where I'm at, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.